Good morning, dear children. Hope all of you are fine. Today we are discussing about the layers of ice. In the previous class, we are discussing about two layers, sclera and choroid. Now we are discussing the third layer, retina. What is the peculiarity of retina? The inner layer of the eye is called retina. Here, more photoreceptors are present. In this picture, you can see an yellow color inside the choroid. We can see an yellow color from here to here. This layer is called retina. Retina has three parts. Which are they? Yellow spot, blind spot, and optic nerve. What is the peculiarity of yellow spot? Yellow spot is the part of retina where plenty of photoreceptors are present. What do you mean by plenty? Lots. ധാരാളം. ഫോട്ടോറിസെപ്റ്റേഴ്സ് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതലുള്ള ലെയറാണ് യെല്ലോ സ്പോട്ട്. It is the point of maximum visual clarity. That point is seen behind the lens. The second part is blind spot. Why we call it blind spot? Blind. You know the meaning blind, having no sight. So, in this point, there is no photoreceptors. So, in that point, there has no vision. The part of the retina from where the optic nerve begins is called blind spot, and the peculiarity is there is no vision and no photoreceptors. Then, the third part is optic nerve. What is the function of optic nerve? Transmit impulse from photoreceptors present in retina and generate impulse. These impulses are transmitted to the center of brain through optic nerve. Which is the visual center of brain? Cerebrum. You studied it in the previous class. Now we are going to another point, that is the fluids in our eye. Mainly two fluids are present in our eye, aqueous humor and vitreous humor. This chamber is called aqueous chamber. The space between lens cornea is called aqueous chamber. The fluid filled inside aqueous chamber is called aqueous humor. It is a water-like fluid. What is the peculiarity of water? That is transparent. Helps to pass light or allow light to pass through it. It is water-like. Another peculiarity is it is formed from blood and is reabsorbed to blood. Aqueous humor is formed from the blood capillaries in eye and it is reabsorbed to blood. You study another fluid that is formed from blood and reabsorbed to blood. Do you remember the name? That is cerebrospinal fluid. Like cerebrospinal fluid, aqueous humor is also formed from blood and reabsorbed to blood. What is the function of aqueous humor? Aqueous humor provides oxygen and nutrients to the tissues of eye. The next fluid is vitreous humor. It is a jelly-like fluid substance seen in vitreous chamber. The space between lens and retina is called vitreous chamber, and the fluid filled inside vitreous chamber is called vitreous humor. What is the function of vitreous humor? The main function of vitreous humor is to maintaining the shape of eye. Another point we are discussing is regulation of light in our eyes. How the light is regulated inside our eyes. The entry of a large amount of light is harmful to our eyes or tissues of the eye. Iris and the aperture at the center called pupil. This iris. This is iris and this is pupil. The space between iris muscles are called pupil. The aperture, iris and the aperture at its center called pupil regulate the amount of light falling on the eye. When we see objects in dim light, our eyes are like this. The iris, the gap between the iris enlarges. When we see objects in bright light, the size of the iris is less. The radial muscles and circular muscles helps to regulate the size of iris. When the radial muscles contract in dim light, the size of the pupil increases. When the circular muscles contract in intense light, what do you mean by intense? Bright. The size of the pupil decreases. When the size of the pupil increases and decreases, the amount of light falling on the lens is regulated. Now we are discussing the formation of image. The curvature of the cornea and the lens, helps light rays which reflect from an object to get focused on the retina. What are the peculiarities of the image formed by lens of the eye? The image is inverted, real and small. The image formed by the lens of the eye is inverted, small and real. We can see nearby and distant objects clearly. This is because the focal length of the lens can be adjusted according to the distance of the object. First of all, we are discussing what happens when we view a distant object. While viewing a distant object, the ciliary muscles relax, ligaments stretch, curvature of the lens decreases, focal length increases. When we are observing a nearby object, The ciliary muscles contract, ligaments stretch. You can see ligaments in the form of lines. Curvature of lens increases, focal length decreases. Another point we are discussing is power of accommodation of the eye. What do you mean by power of accommodation of the eye? The ability of our eye to adjust the focal length of the lens by changing its curvature in accordance to the distance of the object from the eye and from the image on the retina is called power of accommodation. സമഞ്ജന ക്ഷമത എന്നാണ് പവർ ഓഫ് അക്കോമഡേഷന് മലയാളത്തിൽ പറയുക. അതായത് ഫോക്കൽ ലെങ്ത് ക്രമീകരിച്ച് വസ്തുവിനെ ക്ലിയർ ആയിട്ട് കാണാനായിട്ട് സഹായിക്കാനുള്ള നമ്മുടെ കണ്ണിൻ്റെ കഴിവ്. Another point we are discussing is retina and photoreceptors. We can see different types of photoreceptors in our retina. This is the part of a retina. You can see different types of photoreceptors. One is this and another is this. The enlarged picture is this. Mainly two types of photoreceptors are present in our retina. They are rod cells and cone cells. Rod cells, the end of the cell we can see it is rod shaped. In cone cell it is cone shaped. Rod cells containing the visual pigment called rhodopsin. Rhodopsin is formed from a protein named opsin and retinal, which is derived or formed from vitamin A. They are activated even in dim light. What is the function of rod cell? Helps to see object in dim light. These cells cannot detect colors. Rod cells cannot detect different colors like red, green, yellow, etc. Another photoreceptor is cone cell. Cone cell containing a pigment called photopsin. This was another name, iodopsin. Photopsin or iodopsin. The pigment present in cone cell is called photopsin or iodopsin. This pigment is also composed of opsin and retinal. There are three types of cone cells in our eye, which helps to detect the primary colors. Which are the primary colors? Red, green and blue. In our retina, there are three types of cone cells to detect these primary colors. This diversity is due to the difference in amino acids in opsin molecule. We told that photopsin or iodopsin is composed of opsin and retinal. The difference in amino acids in opsin molecule gives the diversity for the cone cell. So, cone cell provide color vision. What is the function of rod cell? Rod cell helps to detect objects in dim light and cone cell provides color vision. Thank you.